Welcome to the Hustle Harder podcast. I'm Zack F, and I'm here with Keith McIntosh, aka Showtime Keith. He's a professional bodybuilder. He's a fitness model. He's an actor. He's a posing coach, and he's recently an author. He just wrote a book, Amazon's #1 release list. Let's go. Good job.
You feel me?
Sir. So let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I know you used to be a track star in college, and I did some speed training with you last summer.
Yeah,
but when did Keith become Mr. Showtime? Was it during those early college years, or was it
It was
after?
before college. It kind of went away in college, because I grew up in Orlando, Florida, so Florida people are known for speed. So I wanted to ideally go to the University of Florida, but the way my times were set up, I wasn't fast enough to get a full ride there. But I ran track. I was one of those football kids that played football since Pop Warner, and then by the time I got to high school, my sophomore year, our coaches wanted all the skilled athletes to run track. So all the special positions run track. When I actually got into it, and I was a smaller kid in high school, me going to NFL was not realistic. I just liked to play. So when I got in the track, I was decent. I ran a pretty fast 40. I ran a 4.40 my 10th grade year. Hand time, of course, 4.40 my 10th grade year, and then my times was decent in the 100-meter dash. So, and then with track, you don't have to give out like how much you weigh and all this. All you do is send your times. I didn't play football. I just ran track. And when I transferred to a different school called Freedom High School. And my junior year, that's when I kind of gained the name Showtime, because I was the fastest kid in the school. I don't know who called me, if I don't know my coach or athlete, but that's when the game came from. So when I be in that school and I excelled pretty quickly in my last 2 years, I don't know, I was just known by Showtime. So by the time I got to college, that name was already there. Like that name became so big, which is crazy, that most people knew the name instead of the person. Like they was like, I had people talking to me about this kid named Showtime, and they talking directly to me. The only people knew my name was Keith if he was in my class. So if people and knew I was like Keith with Showtime. So it was a funny thing, man. But I don't know, it just stuck with me. So, and I kind of like took it as like I kind of took it as like an alter ego.
Yeah.
So I kind of took it serious. So when I got to college, I'm just trying to make the team. So that ego kind of get pushed aside. So I'm just trying to make the team and just compete on the bus, because you got a lot of people in college that kind of practice every day that don't make the bus. So I was one of the athletes that actually had to compete every weekend, indoor and outdoor. And then when I got back in the bodybuilding community, I just brought the name back out, and it just felt fitting, because it allowed me to just switch into that gear of locking in and being able to focus and get to that competitive level, and then kind of that alter ego come back in as Mr. Showtime. So it kind of just stuck when I turned pro.
Kind of like Spider-Man putting on a mask. Peter
Kind of,
Parker
sort
into
of,
Spider-Man.
yeah, kind of, sort of. It's an
Alright.
ego thing, because I feel like you got to live up to that expectation, because you can't have a name like that and be boring, or not just that, but just not come in at a very competitive level.
Yeah.
So once I just gave it the name, I just put respect on it, where I just take it serious. So because I'm not representing myself, but also representing the expectation of that person that they coming to see. So it just drives me harder when I'm like getting ready for a show.
Okay. And going off of that, Mr. Showtime, that's a very confident name. That's a big ego, right? You gotta have some confidence to go with that. And what's really confident about you, the first thing people notice is your style, right? Do you get inspiration? You have any inspiration from that? Or is it your unique style?
I try to just work. I'm the type of person, man, I just try to just find what's best for me. As long as I feel comfortable, I like to try to have like an effortless style, or where it's not trendy, where I have to keep recycling out my closet from like graphic tees. I try to find things like more like timeless. So I may keep it simple, because I like high-end stuff, but I don't like to spend a lot of high-end money. So I may buy like a nice jacket or a nice pair of shoes, and I may go a H&M t-shirt or something like that. I just try to dress it down, but I like try to have like that effortless style, where I still look nice, but I'm not putting a lot of effort into it. It's like a seamless like style. I try to kind of float with that. I may have kicks of flash, where my shoes may be flashy, or I may have a suit that's a little more loud, but I may dress it down with a V-neck depending on the event. So I just try to keep it like that, or have a fancier tie with a more like neutral color suit. So I just try to keep little pockets of flash, but try to keep it more effortless.
Okay. What are 2 things that people can wear to boost their style?
I would say two things I would say. So, for example, if you was wearing, like right now, I'm wearing all black. If I'm wearing all black, I'll probably pop a color in there. I'll probably do like a light blue or all white shoes, something like a designer all white shoe, something to like just pop something in there where your eyes just go to that. So that way, you just can't wear black shoes with all black. You got to have something pop in there to give it a pop. If I'm wearing like a nice solid black suit, I may pop in there a more colorful tie, like I may a pattern tie or a checker tie or like a pastry tie, or I may do a Louis Vuitton tie, depending on the event. I might throw a Gucci tie in there because buying accessories is a lot cheaper than buying a Gucci suit.
That's true.
So just pockets there. You don't want to have too much on. You don't want to have the Gucci suit, Gucci belt, Gucci tie. You don't want to throw too much in there of too much in your face. Just little pockets of flash just to boost it up. But you also want to make sure it fits to your body type. That's the only thing is the worst thing to see is like a baggy suit or where your clothes don't really fit to your type of body style. So at least have it be fitted enough where it fits you comfortably. It don't have to be super tight, but at least fit you where you're highlighting the physique you work with.
Yeah. Okay, so every style is to their own, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's time to go a little deeper. You ready? All right. So we know you're prepping for the iconic Mr. America, right?
Yeah.
In Atlantic City this October, right? You excited for that? Okay. So on your social media, it says this one is different. This is more important. This is more personal. I want to know why.
Last year, I ain't gonna lie, it stung. Last year, it stung. I was coming back off a Achilles injury. I tore my Achilles twice. So I had some complication in prep. So I just try to work around it because I feel like there's always complications. So there's no excuses when you're in prep, but I wasn't able to work legs or anything because I wanted not to get hurt. My goal was just to show up. Last year I was doing both, trying to go pro in IFBB and trying to maintain the bigger show status that I wanted to do in Natural Federation. So I warmed up at a show, Florida Fit Fest, and then I did Mr. America at the end, but I also did an NPC show in between to qualify for nationals to get ready for my pro card. So when I got to Mr. America, I felt like I was in final form, felt good. My posing I had to kind of adjust because of my stance. I couldn't really launch on that foot that much. So I had to change some things regarding my stance and posing, which is a big thing for me. I just never felt comfortable. But at the end of the show, I felt good leading up to it. I felt good show day. I felt like I did enough. But that's probably my first mistake I made, thinking I'm just going to be good enough or be good enough for the show instead of, because then you're setting yourself up to make it close or you're setting yourself up for failure when you're thinking that way. So in that particular standpoint, it came close enough where I didn't win my class. I came in second in my class, and because there was two classes, the person that beat me in my class, Anderson, great athlete. I bet this guy, he's from Florida as well. He competed 95% of my shows that we done. We always competed. So he beat me that day, and because of the teardrop, I kind of came in third. And I never placed third in my life. In the bodybuilding industry now, I mean, not amateurs ever that placed third. Like I came in before that show, I only came in second twice in my entire career. Anderson actually beat me twice that year. He beat me at Florida Fit Fest, the first show, and he beat me there. Florida Fit Fest, he said I was just not conditioned enough. And there he just straight up beat me. There's no excuses on that. He straight up beat me at that show. And I felt like it was the first time I actually got straight up beat. So because the other two times that I lost, it was just because of condition. It's like first show, wasn't conditioned enough. But that time I just got straight up beat. So and that felt, I never put it on the athlete because it's the judges. So you never feel any type of way towards that. But you just feel a type of way of to yourself for accountability. Did I do everything in this prep? Maybe I wasn't healthy enough, but it's cool because you set up for the expectation of it. But I felt like my biggest critique was that I felt like I was top heavy last year, which was different because I'm in men's physique, but I could see their point of view. I try to always look on both sides of it. So this year, I try to streamline my physique, not work too much upper body, just try to keep it full enough for natural body work. I feel like I'm big enough for the natural stages, and just try to bring up my legs more. So I just tried to work a lot more legs. And the reason why I say it's personal because ideally, that was supposed to be my last show last year of Natural Federation. So for me to come, I just didn't feel like I wanted to go out like that. So I still got some juice in me for the Natural Federation. So I'm going to go to Mr. America. I have not won that show yet. I've been in that show twice. This is my third time. I did it my second year, my second show, my second pro show after I won my pro debut show. I came to that show. And then I did it last year. And both times first time I came in second, this time I came in third. So I felt like I never won that show. And I won out of that. I mean, other shows I've done, I won 10 shows, 4 championship shows. For me, I just felt like it's a point where it's an iconic show. I would love to have the title for it. And I feel like it's just, why I say it's personal, just because I feel like they never seen my best. I feel like it's always been something with that stage. Either me warming up too much, or just I was too fresh my second show, a lot of peak stuff messing up, or me just not being healthy. For this year, I feel like I knock off all the excuses. I have enough time in this sport where I know what to do, and I have enough experience where I feel like I just got to give it my best.
Okay. Mentally, are you going into this Mr. America differently?
I want to say mentally, because I'm so used to the expectation, the pressure of every show now. This is my 4th year as a pro. So I want to say mentally I'm not going into it any different. Sometimes it gets a little bit longer for me to get in that full prep mode, because I like to balance out life, and then I have a daughter. So trying to balance out work outside of prep, it's kind of tough sometimes, but I feel like that switch to completely lock in takes a little longer. But I'm not there completely yet, to be honest. I'm working to get there. But I don't know. I don't feel like I'm attacking it any way differently. I feel like I'm just focusing. I feel like my preparation for the stage is different. I'm focusing more on presentation and just getting back comfortable. I'm trying to streamline a different look, so I'm bringing more legs, bringing more conditioning with the core. I've been working a lot more abs. So I'm just trying to bring a different look to the stage. But that show is a great atmosphere, a lot of good vibes, a lot of people I know. So it's always a fun show. But then also just bringing what everybody want to see. So.
Okay. We're all excited to watch you, hopefully. But ready? When you win the Mr. America, right? You're going to have a lot of eyes on you. You're going to get big social media boost. You're going to be on a platform. How are you going to use that title, the iconic Mr. America title, to inspire and leave your mark on natural bodybuilding?
After I win that title, I would just keep focusing on just try to bring other people up. That's one thing I do. I see a lot of great young competitors that's really killing it nowadays in the competition. For me personally, I just try to bring people up, man. I've been in the game for a long time. I don't seen it all, done it all, and I don't experience a lot of different phases of it. So especially with other competitors, I feel like for me, I just try to continue to be a great example for the pro stage as a pro man's physique person in the natural bodybuilding community, try to be a great role model. But also I try to show up, not just on stage, but off the stage. And I volunteer a lot for a lot of shows, a lot of events. I also try my best to highlight other athletes, especially upcoming athletes. You got one right now that's coming to the show. His name is Nathan. I want to say his name is. He's actually out of Jacksonville. Won Florida Pro. Won Courtney show, the Wisconsin Warrior. Won, I think, Atlanta or Arizona. Man, I've been on a roll leading up to Arizona. A fresh face that I don't know how many years he's been pro. I think maybe a year or two, but finally got a stride and just been killing it. So it's one of them things you got to strike where the iron is hot. And you got another guy named Freddie that's really good, man. You got a lot of young people that's up and coming in the sport that's really making a mark, and just I like to just see everybody else just give them their flowers too while they still active. So I don't know. That's where I kind of get my happiness from in the sport, just seeing other people do well, and just if I could do anything to help as well, of course, but also just highlighting those people and bringing more light to them.
All right, awesome. This is exactly why I thought you'd be a great first guest, because everything you just said exemplifies what I want to do, what I want to build on the Hustle Harder podcast, to build the community, the respect, to make a community where my listeners, the people watching, where we can each build each other up and inspire each other, learn from each other. Coaches, athletes, young or old, any generation, we all want to learn from each other. And you're a great coach, great bodybuilder. Where can they find you? Where can they get to know you? You have any socials?
My best way to get to know me is IG. I'm very active on there, and I do respond to my DM. So it's Showtime Keith. You can definitely find me on there. And once again, I'm pretty personable. I'm pretty easy to get to know, man. So, and then if you have any questions, I do answer my DM. So
circling back to your book.
Yes.
My Dad, My Superhero.
Yes.
His recently released book, #1 on Amazon. Congrats, by the way.
Yes.
So Anybody who follows you on IG knows you're a girl dad. You love your daughter. She loves you. You have a great connection. What was her first reaction when she saw this book?
She actually cried, man. It was crazy. I think my daughter's not a great way of expressing a lot of emotions with me. So I felt like maybe it was the time of the day. It was nighttime. She was already tired of bed. I was wanting to read her the story. I felt like my emotions might have came a part of that, but she actually cried. But she loves it. She loves the book. She sees this on the similar. I'm sorry. She sees the relevance to herself in the book. So who would have known I've been writing a book, man? It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy how I wrote a book, but it came out well, and the response from the market been well. Where I was #1 on the new release for Amazon, which is crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy. I didn't even say that because it's 100. It's a top 100. It's like they only pick like out of everyone that released, thousands of people that released, they pick up top 100 list, and I was #1 on that list, which is craziness to even have that to be a thing. So just having fun with it, and I mean, so just another blessing. So just trying to continue to do what I can, man, and show my daughter there's no limitations on anything.
When you were writing the book, tell us the process. Explain to it. Any parallels to prepping for a show?
I felt like the biggest comparison to it would be that just like how I get compared for a show, I don't do it by myself. I have a team. I have some great people behind me. I have a great coach. Even myself, I use a couple opposing coaches that might have been judges in the past, or even close friends that good opposing coaches just to check me out, just to make sure I'm on track for what I'm trying to accomplish. Because you get in your head a lot in that process, and then the easiest way to get out of your head is to have help. So my brother Josh, the Ghost, man, we talk a lot all the time. So I may even check in with him about certain things, about how I'm looking outside of my coach. So you need that support in that community. And the same thing went with my book. I had a team. I had an editing team. I had a publishing team. I had an illustration team. I tried to initially going into doing it by myself, but then I figured out the learning curve was a lot. It was pretty heavy. The writing, of course, is myself, but the illustrations, the consistent characters, especially for a rhyming kids book, it got kind of complicated. So I reached out for help, and I've done a lot of research prior to even doing my book. So I just had a great team, man. I had a great publishing team, a great marketing team. Right now, I just have a lot of people that's in there with me.
That's awesome. So there's more behind the scenes work than anybody could ever realize, right?
Yeah, you can't never do anything. I'm a firm believer. You can do everything on your own if you want, but I mean, why? Why? I rather if I have the capability of doing so, of reaching out to the right, especially for your first one. It's different if you've been doing it for a couple of years. You know a little bit of the process. You could streamline some things, but your first book ever, I rather hire the people that have been doing it and just well recommended. So
awesome. So I think the world wants to know: is this the first of many?
it's crazy, man. I would like to do a series of it, like, cause I wrote this book off of a time period in my life, um, just off of life experiences with my daughter, and I would like to continue certain phases of that with her as she grow, like first day of school, like being a soccer dad. I mean, we know about the coaches and being a dad on the sideline, like just trying to capitalize that in a fun moment. I just try to capitalize on things that you can relate to. That way, you're writing from experience, and you have something to relate to when you are coming up with your outlines and your themes. So, but my next project I want to work on is a math book. I want to work on a math workbook. I felt like with my daughter in kindergarten, the biggest thing they have now these state tests where the expectation of the math test is so hard nowadays because a lot of it they might not even get to in kindergarten, but the expectation is so high, and I feel like they need more workbooks out there to help them get ready for it. So I want to do another one called Math for Breakfast. That's what I'm working on right now. A workbook, a math workbook. So just for early learners, like for adding subtraction. Um, Nothing too crazy in there. I think I'm gonna focus on mostly adding subtraction in there, but just workbooks right now. I think that's what my next phase is before I go and see how this plays out in the market, see how the response is. If I will continue with another book out to continue a series off or a spinoff of it, I'll see what the market tells me, what the people want, and then I'll go from there. Where next, right now, I'm working on a math workbook.
Okay, hopefully there's many more. Hopefully you don't break Amazon with the next one, though. Right? All right. What inspired you to write My Dad, My Superhero?
Yeah, man. So as I talked about before, it was a time in my life where when I got hurt my Achilles, I'm a type of person where I'm a firm believer work hard now to not have to work hard later. I mean, we growing up, I mean, I am no stranger when it comes to hard work. Growing up with a single mom, younger sisters, and I was the first one to graduate from college in my whole entire family. So I grew up in the city. So I definitely grew up with more of a push. I'm the only boy growing up on my mom's side of the family, but I also grew up as the oldest. When I got finally slowed down, where I tore my Achilles, that was the first time in life where I was really forced to slow down, and it was God's plan to slow me down. My daughter at that age, I think I was 2023. She had to been around, I don't know, she was just turning 3 or 2 to 3. She was around that age. So when I got hurt, I was still working from it was still working from home ish. I think we was just not starting to come in the office because after COVID, so I'm just not starting to come in the office more. I took some time off, but when I first got hurt, it never hit me because I still was getting ready to compete overseas in London end of the year in October. So I just came out my best year in bodybuilding where I did I think 6 or 7 shows. I won 5 of them and won 5 straight. I think of that part of that series, I won 3 back-to-back shows. I came out my best year in bodybuilding, which stapled me into where I am now in the sport, but with 3 championship shows. And at that stage, I was getting ready to compete overseas in London that I was sponsored for. So when I tore my Achilles in March, I still felt like I could still compete in October. The doctor said I was fine. Everybody said I'd be okay. And then I had a setback in May, just overexerting it, and I popped it again. I didn't go back into surgery, so it's been a slower recovery since. But at that time period, me and my daughter, it was rough because I'm very active. Me and how my daughter used to bond at that time, we just used to do everything active. We used to go out and do some soccer drills at the park, play, run around. Our at that time, our most of the time of our bonding time was us just being active together. And when I couldn't do that because I was in a sling for 6 weeks, where I couldn't even put my foot down for 6 weeks. So I'm just hopping from a scooter to wherever I go. And at that time, I was forced to slow down to be present more. Um, with work and bodybuilding, it could be a lot on a household. So I was forced to be more present, and I was forced to just focus on her. Once I got past the whole where I'm gonna be down for a while, and and I got more control of my emotions around that because that was a very mentally challenging period. But she was by my side the whole time, man. Had a little scooter herself. Used to park it by my scooter. So we used to I put cones in the house. So on my knees, I would do little drills in the house. But I just noticed the change of our relationship got stronger around that period of time. And it's because I was forced to be more present in her life and forced to be more in there and spend that real quality time with her. So on a daily basis. So once then I made some big shifts in my career change where I work from home permanently. And I spent a lot more time with her. And we do a lot more active things, not just active, but we also do educational things together, puzzles. I have this thing where I do math with daddy. So we in that time period, that inspired me to try to capitalize that in a very kid friendly way. That way they can still relate to it at around this age of the power of being present. So that's what brought my book, My Dad, My Superhero, because I felt like in every kid's eyes, you're a superhero. But at the same time, what's more demanding than a superhero?
Yeah.
What's more demanding? So for someone that works multiple jobs and so many different hustles, um, your time can be very demanding, and to try to prioritize what's most important to you, which is my relationship with my daughter. That's what trying to balance that, trying to find that balance. That's what I capitalize in this book, trying to find balance and not just trying to provide and be and then work for your family, but also be there for your daughter. Because I think one line in the book is that I know they need my dad too, but I do as well. So in a rhyming, so not rhyming way, but it just, man, that's what inspired me to do the book, just to show parents, other parents, to be present and to show the power of being present. Because that way, people like first responders or parents that work multiple jobs, not just fathers, but a lot of different people can relate to this book.
It's awesome. Hopefully, the backstory can even push the book further and help people understand it. So, what got you into bodybuilding?
I was I just like a normal, just like A lot of people, man, you just go to enough of a gym where enough bodybuilders are at, and then they just inform you about something that's different to keep you a competitive edge. Like, hey, I think you should try this out. I think you do well in this. And at that time, I was 25 when I first did a couple NPC shows, and I didn't have that much of a cut. So I was like, all right, I was already super prime shape. So I did my first show, NPC in Melbourne. I want to say it was around, what year is that? I don't know, 2018 or 7, somewhere around, it was probably earlier than that, probably 2015, 16 when I did that show. And I actually won that show in Melbourne, Florida. I qualified for nationals, this South Florida Nationals, South Florida Championship in Orlando. I came third in that show, but then from there I got signed for modeling, so I didn't even just around that same period of time I was starting off with modeling, so I stopped doing bodybuilding. When I came back is actually just crazy. Your mom, man, with how I found out about natural bodybuilding. I was looking up after my daughter first year because you get that dad weight. You get that dad weight,
Yeah.
just being more present, just not going to the gym as much. Every doctor's appointment, whatever at the time my wife, Liv's mom, whatever she needed. So I put on some weight. Your friends would be the first one to tell you, like, hey, you don't look as good as you used to look. They'll tell you that he keeps not as cut up as he used to look because you don't see it. So 2019, I started going back to the gym and started looking up natural shows. I think I might have heard about it, but I think I looked up natural bodybuilding or just looked up bodybuilding shows. And then I found out about NGA and I saw your picture of your mom. So I keep telling her ever since that day because that I think I reached out to her too. Or maybe I think I might have told her when she was at my first show when I was there. I think she was just starting off her podcast launch at that time for Subculture. And I told her that I kind of found this out about like for you. So that's why we always had like an unbreakable bond from the very beginning of my career because I found this out through your mom. So she was a rock star. Like condition was crazy. When I saw her, I was like, all right, it's natural bodybuilding. So from there, I just got into culture. And then from there, you learn about all the other shows and then timing. When I was coming out, watching bodybuilders getting more popular because of COVID, and then a lot of the change because of the other side of NPC was getting more traction. And the next thing you know, I feel like Subculture had a big push on that as well because at that time, no one else was doing like media. So the social media presence was a lot bigger around that time. You had Called Out with Marcus and Chris and her. So I feel like around that time they pushed the sport. So it just brought a lot more eyes to it. And the next thing you know, you have the other ones that have already been established, but a lot of the smaller ones have got a lot more accreditation from that. So I don't know. That's how I kind of got here.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So you said about the natural. What do you stress about being natural?
I would say just anyone that's not using anything that's performance enhanced. There's a lot of stuff you can use to enhance your training. Not just steroids. I think they're actually called PEDs, like performance enhanced drugs.
Yeah.
So there's other things you could use. I can't tell you all the names because I'm not into it. Like I didn't even know that was a thing until when I was competing in NPC. They used to ask me, "Are you natty or are you something? Are you running anything?" I don't know. I think testosterone booster you could do as well. So like that type of stuff, you can take testosterone booster tots, just the booster your testosterone to like gain more muscle faster. So there's other things you could do to like increase your muscle at a faster rate. Or increase your recovery, I guess it does. But for me, it's just, I've never been interested in it because I always did this as something just as a hobby. Not as a hobby, but more an outlet. So something that's to keep me competitive, but also something that just give me something to do outside of work or outside of. And I love bodybuilding. It keeps me on track. One thing I tell people when I do bodybuilding, what I like about it the most, I call it like a cleanse. So how you go through a prep, you cleanse your body. But for me, it does, I feel like in many ways it cleanses your life. Because you're forced to focus more on yourself, whereas most people, that's foreign to them because they're so used to putting other people before themselves. So in bodybuilding, you're forced to put yourself first. Sometimes you can be a little too selfish, but it's a short period of time because for you to show up how you want to show up on the stage, you have to put that time in. You have to put that time in the gym. You have to prep your meals. It's a lot of time consuming that bodybuilding could take up out of your life for that period of time that you're getting ready for a show. And as the closer you're getting, the more time it takes. So in that particular standpoint, it is a lot about you and you have to focus on yourself. So doing that, man, it could rub a lot of people the wrong way. It can run people like family members, friends, because you're not able to go to many social events, or you might not be as much present for your loved ones. It can be tough, man, on a family, a household, a relationship of any type of relationship, friends, family, someone you with. So it's a cleanse. So if if me focusing on myself is a problem for you, what do they really say about our relationship? Is our relationship only good because it benefits when I'm there for you? So you learn about a lot of things, man. Even when you get into bodybuilding itself, the circles that you're a part of, you can see how it impacts that when you in season. So that's why I call it a cleanse, because when I'm getting in prep, you kind of got to focus on yourself. So the people that's not supporting you in that or encourage you in that process, they're not around too much longer after that process. So, so I call it a cleanse.
For athletes that go to college but don't quite make it pro, would you say bodybuilding's a good outlet to keep that competitive edge and keep you in shape?
I feel like if it's something that you're already doing. So if you're already the type of person where you like going to the gym, it's something, because it can't be something that you don't enjoy actually doing. So it's not going to be fun for you if you got to be forced to go to the gym, if you got to be forced to eat healthy. I feel like it's not going to be fun for you. You won't have any longevity in it. For me, I was on a strict diet since high school for track, and I had a strict diet in college. So for me, the nutrition part wasn't a big problem for me or a big switch. The training, I trained in college for weightlifting. I didn't train as much weightlifting in high school because I was one of them guys. I didn't go to the gym. I just showed up to play ball. But in college, especially my sophomore year, man, they had training programs built into our schedule. So that's when I got more into the weights. But yeah, man, I feel like if it's already a part of your daily life and you already go to the gym now, why not? Just try it out. Just do a show. I'm big on just try it out, see if you like it. You like it, you don't. Sometimes you don't like it. Some people don't like the process. Some people enjoy it. Some people fall in love with it. I did my first show. I do it. I had fun with it. Came back, and it's just some people like it, some people don't. But you don't know until you try it.
All right, that's a great answer. It's been great having you here. It's been great talking to you. Thank you so much for the information. I'm sure all the young athletes out there, even the old ones, I'm sure they appreciate all this. Can they find you one more time?
Yes, man. Y'all can find me at Showtime Keith on Instagram. Is probably the best way to find me. But hopefully, I didn't ramble too much. I get to talking, man. But thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Man, congratulations, bro, on this, man. This is an amazing setup you have here. Like, if y'all can see what I see, obviously you can see from the camera, but this takes a lot of work. This is a lot. And it looks amazing in here. I know you're going to do great things on this podcast. I'm glad I'm one of the first guests. I mean, as I said before, man, you and your mom is special to me, so I'm glad I'm here. But, hey, man, good luck to you and everything else. If you need anything else from let me know, but thank you for having me. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you guys very much. This is the Hustle Harder podcast, signing out.
All right, now. All right, brother. Hey, we got one done.